All right. It's another day. That means it's another episode of Your Daily Scrum. I'm professional Scrum trainer Ryan Ripley. That gentleman over there, somewhere over there, is professional Scrum trainer Todd Miller.
Hello.
We get together each and every day to talk about your Scrum questions, some things going on in the community. Our goal is to help you get better at Scrum just a little bit each and every day. Can you imagine, Todd, if someone watched all 200 articles? I mean, besides the eyes would be bleeding, but their Scrum would be better?
I can't imagine, because we didn't write any articles. We did videos.
Oh, that's right. We did videos. If they watched all 200
it's factual
videos,
Todd today.
Well, we just finished teaching an awesome private professional Scrum with Kanban class, and both of our brains are kind of empty. Mm-hmm. It's a very good class. We think it's awesome for Scrum Masters to get some Kanban skills and practices and methods into their work. We actually have a public offering coming up, Todd, with Dan Vacanti.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Check out the description for more information on that. I think it's a great way to level up. We're not here to sell. We're here to help. And so, Todd, we had a question come in. I think it was in the YouTube chat. So, by the way, if you leave a comment down in the comment section on here on YouTube, we'll probably turn that comment into a video at some point. If you like and subscribe, you'll know when that video actually gets released. So be sure to do those two things and never miss a video from Todd and I. Todd, what inspired you to become a Scrum Master? I thought this was a really nice question from our community.
I think my answer is lame to this, Ryan.
Was it because you wanted to make more money, Todd?
No. I mean, I picked up the Agile project management with Scrum book written by Ken Schwaber and Mike Beadle.
Yep.
And I picked that book up because I was playing rugby for a rugby team. I was working in a software development environment, first as a developer, and that kind of turned into this product that I was working on. Got pretty popular. More people were working on it. I needed a different way to working than just some XP stuff that we were doing. And I found that in the Barnes and Noble's book section.
Yeah. And
I picked it up because it said technology section, right? Because I picked it up because it said Scrum in it. And I am for any rugger out there, I played number 3 tight head prop. And that's why I got it. And that's kind of the story of how I found Scrum, I guess you could say. Maybe that's not inspiring, but that's how I found Scrum. So
yeah, you're right. It's pretty lame. No, I mean, it's a good, I think once you get exposed to it, that's what kind of people kind of grab on. And I remember being a developer, and XP, like extreme programming, was just, I mean, we all had Kent Beck's book on our desk. Extreme Programming Explained is an amazing book. If you haven't read it, go get it. It's still awesome 20 some years later. I think that's how old it is. It's a great book. And so I was familiar with agility, but I wasn't familiar with Scrum. And then I started seeing there used to be these things called message boards for those of you out there. We used to not have like Slack and all this instant communication. Back in my day, we had to wait. And so Scrum started getting some heat and people were talking about it. And at that point, I had kind of transitioned into a traditional project manager, and I was skeptical of Scrum. And so I convinced my boss, who at the time was just super supportive of learning and growth. And he got approval for me to go to Seattle at Microsoft, where Ken Schwaber was teaching a class with some of our really good friends. Like, it was just a murderer's row of PSTs in that class. It was amazing. A lot of people assisting Ken with the course. And after a day of learning Scrum from Ken, I was hooked. It just clicked. It made sense that there was a better way, a more humane way, a more data-driven, empirical way of delivering work. And I loved it. And the way that Ken explained it, he's so passionate about it. At that point, I had to know everything about it. We had paid for extra sessions after the event, like where you could sit down with Ken in a small group. And I just had a billion questions. And he just finally said, son, you need to read a few books. And I mean, he was very patient and kind with me. And I was from that point forward, I've just been, I couldn't read books fast enough, and I was just on fire for it. But it was really Ken's passion for it that really fired me up, and just the way that he made it so clear that things could be better. And from that point forward, I was hooked.
Yeah. Interesting that both of us in some way or another were inspired by Ken to do it.
Yeah.
And I sometimes think, and I've said this to a million teams. Ryan, I've played sports my whole life, really, up until my early 30s when I retired from rugby. But I always thought to myself, how many sports I've played where I've been the team captain, but very rarely have been the best player in the team.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what rugby's all about, right? So, or not rugby. That's what Scrum is all about, right? You don't need to, as a Scrum Master, you don't need to be the best player on the team. You just need to do the things that are necessary for the team to operate, right? Which a lot of being a captain for a sports team, if you've ever been, it's not a dictatorship. Is you're doing the stuff that nobody else wants to do. And so I've always thought that, and I feel like that in reading the book and thinking about the way that we worked, that was always something that I worked with teams and told teams about. So.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like I rarely. I mean, when I walk into a room, I'm not the person who's most skilled. I'm not the smartest, but I care about the success of our group above my own personal gain. And I think that, I think people with that bent, and I know Todd, you're the same way. We both make decisions in our business and in our lives that are good for others, but not the best for us. And we do that constantly. Mm-hmm. And but I think you need that bent. And I think the way that Ken explains Scrum and the way that people live out the framework and the way that the book, it just clicks with that. And it's congruent with the way that we live our lives. And yeah. So that's why we're Scrum Masters and now Scrum trainers, but we also love the influence. As a trainer, we can get 20 people in a room and we can show them a way to work that shows a lot of love and respect and support for teams. And if we can get those 20 people to go out in the world and show up as that amazing servant leader, we've just influenced 20 different people and 20 different teams, and that spreads out. And that's really inspiring to us too. It humanizes work. It's agile for humans, right? And that's our mission.
It does.
Cool. Thanks for that question. It's really nice when the community gets curious about us, and we're more than happy to answer questions like that. Maybe tomorrow we'll get back into the framework, but for now, it's end screen time.
It is. Oh, no.
Right, check out the socials. Todd, I've heard Facebook is back up. So
just stay away from it.
Yeah, just don't touch it. We're mostly on Twitter and LinkedIn, but some of the other socials might come into play. Like and subscribe so you never miss a video. Hey, check out those videos below. The YouTube algorithm thinks you'll like them. We do too. Let us know in the comments what inspired you to take your steps into being a Scrum Master, a product owner, a developer. What inspired you to really progress in your career? We'd love to hear your stories. I'm sorry, fact-based Todd. I'd love to read your stories, or we would. And share in the community, help each other out. And we'd love to know more about you and your inspiration. For Todd Miller, I'm Ryan Ripley. This is Your Daily Scrum. Yeah, go out, be inspired, read some books, check out some videos, not just us. There's a lot of great things out there. And come back tomorrow, and hopefully we can answer another question. But until then, have a great night.
See you.